Hello, my name is William Scott, and today I will be talking to you about my experience this summer at the Robotics Institute at Carnegie Mellon University for the summer of 2022. So to start, I think it's important to give some background information on what I was doing prior to my engagement with CMU this summer. So in the spring of 2022, I was volunteering at the Community Event Center. Well, it's the Pitt Community Event Center. I'm a University of Pittsburgh student, and this Community Event Center is located in the Hill District, a predominantly African American community that has been underrepresented and criminally underfunded, I feel, for a long amount of time. And at this institution, or at this event center, is where I got the opportunity to teach a robotics course. And I taught this robotics course to a group of middle schoolers, ages 8 to 11, so a rowdy group, but very interested to learn robotics and get their hands dirty. So this was a 6-week engagement course, with our main purpose of teaching and introducing these students to introductory engineering and robotic concepts, and providing hands-on experience with robotics to gauge and improve their own confidence in STEM-related fields. So that was the 6-week course I did before the summer, and moving forward, I then went to South Africa in May for a study abroad opportunity. I spent 2 weeks there. I spent my first week in Cape Town, and I spent I spent my first week in Johannesburg and my second week in Cape Town. And I have a short video I'd like to show you of just me interacting with the locals. We went to a local community in South Africa. This was right outside of Soweto, where we were dancing and enjoying our time. And it was a really transformative experience for me, because while I was able to have a good time, I was also able to see the direct effects of the apartheid government on the mentality, minds, and infrastructure of the entire South African nation. So it was really contextualizing for me, because it helped me grapple with my anger towards global inequities and injustice, but it also helped me refine my mind in the sense of how I wish to use my technical knowledge to affect positive change. So moving forward to my research this summer, I didn't want to lose any of the important notions or ideas that came with me from South Africa. So I decided to focus my research around my experience in South Africa and trying to solve one of the problems that we saw there. And one of those specifically being the safe navigation of informal settlements. For those of you unaware, informal settlements are communities that are arrived within South Africa where individuals erect their own housing structures because the government does not provide efficient, safe, or meaningful structures fast or readily available enough for local communities. And the image in the top left here is an excellent example of how congested and tight these communities can grow to be given enough time. So, as one can imagine, these areas are extremely prone to extensive damages from natural disasters or calamities such as fires, floods, or assaults. And an emergency response service trying to navigate this community would have a very hard time reaching its goal in order to disseminate its life-saving medicine or whatever service needed to be delivered. So I was talking with my PhD student and my advisor, and they recommended I model this as a shortest path plane problem with a single global constraint. And my research involved implementing 3 algorithms tested on urban environment maps to see which one would perform best in terms of our South African context. And there was a strong emphasis on performance time, as in emergencies and life-saving situations, time is a very critical factor. So we were looking for the fastest algorithm as opposed to one that provided a very complete and optimal solution. The 3 algorithms we tested were A-star, regular A-star search with time measured independently, another A-star search with time measured dependently, and then we also tested the constrained A-star search, which was an intermediary algorithm developed towards the constrained D-star algorithm, which was for global replanning with a global constraint. Outside the classroom, I spent my time continuing and advancing the robot doctor. So at CMU, while I was there, I had the opportunity to disseminate 1-day course versions or modifications of the robot doctor, where in this instance, we weren't able to give them hands-on experience building robotics, but rather we supplemented that activity with, or exchanged that activity with, prioritizing engagement and exposure. So we would bring in other risk cohort members to really talk, and other professors to talk to the students, mostly underrepresented minorities, about better ways they can enter the field of robotics, the skills they need to succeed in the field of robotics, and ways for them themselves to navigate and reach where we are researching at CMU. On top of that, I also spent my Saturdays continuing the robot doctor at the Community Event Center. I was not leading the course. I led the course in the spring 2022. This summer, I was not leading the course. I was simply facilitating. I was simply acting more as a TA/facilitator in order to better support the new leader of the course, as I was too overwhelmed with my commitments to risk to really give the course my entire energy and focus. Also, I was part of the external marketing team, which was purposed with simply disseminating the activities of the RISC 2022 cohort to the rest of the world. And in that team, I functioned as an interviewer, interviewing other scholars for scholar highlight videos, which are just short videos highlighting a scholar about their research and what they're passionate about, to be posted on social medias for their own exposure. So for my future opportunities, I hope to eventually be accepted into grad school with this research, so I can continue it to help better address poverty and lack of resources, so I can better empower local and global communities. And I concluded this image here because this is one of the pictures I've taken at one of the informal settlements I visited, and it helps remind me of the communities that I wish I want to serve, the communities I want to serve moving forward, and how I want to use my degree to affect positive social change. I'd like to give one more final thank you to my PhD student, Drew. This would not have been possible at all without him. He's helped progress my knowledge of search-based planning to a level unbeknownst before, unbelievable to myself. And I'd like to thank Rachel and Dr. Max, because they also believed in me and given me the space to be as successful as I am today. Thank you.